So now we are going to start a depreciation question. Here in this one, XYZ company is going to borrow 900,000. So 900,000 means the loan amount. So we have to put in the data 900,000 as the loan amount. Then on 6 years mortgage, which means the number of years is 6, with an annual interest rate of 8%. 8% into decimal means 0.08. So you can keep it in decimals. If not, you can convert it to a percentage as well. So the next one, develop a rental schedule. So here they are asking a rental schedule. Depend on the question, we have to change our answer. Right? So the rental schedule, it's almost same as the loan amortization schedule. Showing the monthly installment, beginning balance, ending balance, capital charges. Earlier we are familiar with capital deduction. Now it's capital charges. So we can keep it capital deduction or we can replace by just capital itself. And interest charges. So I'm going to keep the interest only. Separately at the end of each month. So in this question, the payment term is at the end of the month. Now we have to prepare the rental schedule for this question. So I'm going to start with the beginning balance. The beginning balance of amortization table or rental schedule is the loan amount. That is the present value of the loan. So we have to give the cell reference of the loan in the data. Since this is fixed, you can put the dollar sign or the absolute cell reference. You can use F4 key for that. Then I'm going to start the installment. I'm going to reduce the font size so you can see it easily. Then installment. Installment we can calculate by using the PMT or the payment function. So I'm going to type PMT. Then I'm going to open the bracket. So you can see the formula easily. First, we have to enter the rate. So here, you must remember, we have entered the annual interest rate. However, we are going to prepare the schedule on monthly basis. Therefore, we have to divide this rate by 12 to calculate the monthly interest rate. Since this rate is constant over the period of time, what we can do, we can give the absolute cell reference or we can fix it. So here also I'm going to use the F4 key. Then the dollar sign in front of the letter indicate we are going to fix the column, and the dollar sign in front of the number indicate we are going to fix the row. Then according to the formula, next one is we have to type the number of periods, that is N per. In this one, it indicates the mortgage is for 6 years. However, since we are going to prepare monthly installment plan, we have to multiply it by 12 to calculate the full monthly installments. Then, since this payment is fixed for 6 years, we have to fix the number of years as well. Then the next one is the present value of the loan. Present value means the current value of the loan. So according to this question, the present value is the loan amount. So you have to fix it. Why? Because it is fixed over the period of time. So if you want to keep the installment in a positive figure, here in front of the present value, you have to put a minus sign. Otherwise, you will get a negative answer. Then we have to include the future value. Future value is the future value of the loan. However, it is not provided in the question. Therefore, we have to skip it. So you can give a comma, then you can see it has been shifted to the last type. Last one is the type. Type means the payment term, whether we are going to pay at the end, whether we are going to pay at the end. Beginning. So in this one, it mentioned that we are going to pay at the end of each month. Therefore, in this formula, we have to put 0, which indicate end of the time period. Then you have to press enter. When you press enter, you can see the Excel formula will automatically calculate the installment value. Then the next option is the interest. To calculate the interest, we can use the financial function of IPMT, which indicate the interest on payment. So when you open the bracket, you can see the formula automatically. So first, we have to enter the rate. Since we need the monthly installment rate, we are going to divide it by 12. And since it is fixed for the 6 years, we can give the absolute cell reference. Then we have a new thing, that is per. Per means the current period. In this question, we are in the period 1. So you have to select the period, which is 1. Then in the next one, you have to insert the number of periods. Even though here we have 6 years, since we are going to calculate it on monthly basis, we have to multiply it by 12. Since this period is common for the renter, we have to fix it as well. Then we have to insert the present value. Present value is the loan amount. Since this loan amount is fixed for the loan for the period of time, we can fix it as well. And here, if you want to get the positive interest charge, then you have to insert a minus sign in front of the present value. Otherwise, you will get it in negative terms. Then we have to insert the future value. Since we don't have any future value in this question, we can skip it by putting another comma. Then the function is come to the end. Now you have to enter the time. Time means the payment term, whether we are going to pay at the beginning or at the end. Since this question refers to the end of the period, we have to put 0 here. Then you have to close the bracket. Then you can see the inbuilt formula of Excel has calculated the interest. Then we have to calculate the capital. To calculate the capital, we can use the PPMT formula. This is the financial formula which calculates the principal on payment or the capital amount. So what we are going to do, first we have to select the rent. Here the rate is provided annually. Now we have to convert it to months. Since this is fixed for the period, we can fix it. Then we have to enter the period, which means the current period. That is period 1 in this question. Then we have to insert number of period. In this one, we have referred number of years. Now, since we are preparing this schedule based on monthly, we have to convert it. Therefore, we have to multiply it by 12. Since this year is fixed or constant for the period of time, we have to fix it as well, which means the absolute cell referencing should be there. So we can use F4 key. Then we have to put the present value, which means the current value of the loan, which is 900,000. So if you want to get the positive principal amount or the capital amount, what you have to do, you have to put a minus sign in front of this present value. Since this loan value is constant over the period of time, we have to fix it as well. Then we have to enter the future value. Since we don't have any figure, we can skip it by putting another comma. So you can see in between these two commas, no figure is there, which means we have skipped the future value. Then in the final stage, we have to put the time. Since it is referring to the end of each month, we can put 0 to the time. Then we can close it by using the bracket. Now you have to see this thing. Since interest is constant, we have fixed it. Since number of years is constant, we have fixed it. Since the present value is constant, we have fixed it. However, period, which means the current period, we haven't fixed it. We have to keep it as it is. So when the period is changing, automatically this cell will be different. Now we are going to put the end loan balance. So end loan balance, you know, when we are going to settle a loan, the bank or the mortgage provider, they will deduct the capital portion only from the loan balance. So from the beginning loan balance, we have to deduct the capital or the principal amount. Then we can arrive at the ending loan balance. The ending loan balance of the first period will become the beginning loan balance of the second period. So, in the second period, under the beginning loan balance, we have to refer the cell of the ending loan balance of the first period. Then, what we can do is we can drag it up to the second cell. What we are going to drag? Now we are going to put the installment, interest, capital, and ending balance to the next cell by using the auto-filling option. The auto-filling option, what we are going to do is, first we are going to highlight the relevant area. Then you can see the cursor of the mouse pointer is changing into a plus sign. So when I get this plus sign, it indicates the auto-filling option is activated. So you can drag it up to the second cell. Now in this question, there are 6 years. 6 years means we should have 72 monthly periods. Therefore, now I'm going to put the auto-filling option to make the periods up to 72. So first I'm going to highlight 1 and 2. Then I'm going to put it up to 72. Before that, I have to wait to change the mouse pointer to the auto-filling option, which means the plus sign. So after that, I'm going to drag it up to 72. Now, the whole schedule, other than the period, right, should be selected and it should be dragged up to the 72nd period. So when I drag it up to the end of the period, you can see the ending loan balance will be 0 at the 72nd period. So which means my arithmetical calculation in this Excel is correct. Now I want to show you another thing. So when you go through this schedule, what you can see is the interest is gradually decreasing. In the earlier terms, we are paying high, but at the end of the period, we are paying lesser amount. Now, what you can see about the principal amount? With regard to the principal amount, right? What you can see is earlier, the principal amount is lesser, but it is gradually increasing. So you can see there is an inverse relationship. Interest is gradually decreasing. However, the principal amount is gradually increasing. Why is this? Why there is an inverse relationship between the capital and the interest? You know, bankers are providing this mortgage to earn a revenue. Their revenue is the interest. So, as soon as possible, they want to recover their interest or the revenue. That's why they are charging higher amount as the interest in the earlier periods. If the particular person default the loan or the mortgage, still they can earn higher amount or higher revenue in terms of interest in the earlier periods. Anyway, due to the mortgages, due to several conditions, still the loan provider is liable to pay the loan amount or the capital amount. Therefore, by suing them, by taking legal actions, they can recover the capital. However, interest is difficult to recover. That's why they are charging higher amount in the earlier periods. So, now let's draw a draft to identify these differences. So what we can use, we can select the periods up to the 72. Then by pressing the control sign, we can select the interest. Then you can go to insert. You can select the charts. In the charts, you can select a line chart. So now I am going to change the figures, shift the rows. Sorry. It come in automatically. Wait. So I'm going to select the, it has been select the whole area. So I'm going to select the period, which is my X. Then I'm going to put my interest. Now again, I'm going to charts. So I'm going to put the, remove this interest amount, the period amount. Then you can see how the interest has been shifted over the period. So you can see in the period 1, it is higher. And in the period 72, it has been decreased up to a small portion. So you can see there is an inverse relationship between the interest and the time period. Now let's move on to the next question. Let's see the next exercise. So in this exercise, we have to prepare a loan amortization table for 5 years. Now number of years are 5. Mortgage loan of 825,000 at annual interest rate of 8%. So the interest rate has been provided annually. Assume that the loan is repaid in equal installment. This equal installment is the sign which indicates the loan amortization table. Now, what we are going to do, they are requested us to prepare an amortization schedule to indicate the beginning loan balance, monthly installment, monthly interest, monthly capital deduction, and the ending loan balance. So we can use this table to fill up the requirements. First one is the beginning loan balance. So the beginning loan balance indicate the mortgage loan value. So we have to refer the loan amount, which is 825,000. Since this is fixed, we can fix the cells by using F4 key, which indicate the absolute cell referencing. Then next one, we have to put the installment. To indicate the installment, we have to use the financial function called PMT. In the PMT function, first we have to put the rate. Since this rate is indicated in annually, to get the monthly installment rate, we have to divide it by 12. Since this is fixed for the period of time, we can fix it by using F4 key. Then we have to put number of period. Here it indicates 5 years. Since we are preparing this loan amortization table on monthly basis, we have to multiply it by 12. Since this period is constant, what we are going to do, we are going to fix this cell as well. Then we have to put the present value. Present value means the current value of the loan. That is 825,000. So we have to refer the loan amount cell. Since this loan amount fixed for the period, we have to put a 4 key to absolute this cell or the fix this cell. If you want to take a positive figure, what you have to do, you have to put a minus sign in front of this present value. Otherwise, you will get a negative value. Then we have to put the future value. Here, we don't have the future value of the loan or what we are going to pay ultimately at the end of the loan. So we have to skip it by putting another comma. So you can see in between these two commas, nothing is there. Then finally, we have to insert the type. Type means whether we are going to pay at the end or at the beginning. Since this indicates we are going to pay at the beginning, what we are going to do, we have to put 1 here. Then we have to close the bracket and we have to enter it. So you have to see installment at the beginning of each month. Then next one is we have to put the interest. To put the interest, we have to use the IPMT, which means the interest on payment formula. So here, what we are going to do, we have to put the rate first. Since it is on monthly basis, we have to divide it by 12 and we have to fix it. Then we have to put the per. Per means the current period. So here, since we are in the first period, we have to refer the period number 1 cell. Since this period is changing over the period of time, we are not going to absolute cell reference. But here, what we are going to do, we are going to put the relative cell reference. Therefore, we are not going to fix this cell. Then what we are going to do is, we have to put the number of periods. Here, the number of periods is 5. However, it's in years. To convert it into monthly, we have to multiply it by 12. Since this is constant, we have to fix it. Then we have to enter the present value of the loan. So we have to refer that particular cell. Since we need the figures in positive, we have to put a minus sign in front of the loan amount. Then we have to fix it. Why? Because this loan amount is fixed over the period of time or constant over the period of time. Then we have to skip the future value because it is not provided in the question. Then we have to insert the type. Since this question is referring the payment term as at the beginning of the period, so we have to put 1 here. Then we have to close the bracket. So here the interest payment in the beginning of the period is almost 0. So let's see the capital deduction. Now you may wonder why this interest is 0. So if we are going to pay at the beginning, so the interest charge is reduced for this particular month. That's why. So next, the capital deduction. For that, we have to use PPMT formula, which is principal on payment. Here also, we have to refer the rate. Since it is annual, we have to convert it into months. Then we have to fix it. Then we have to refer the current period. Here we are going to keep the relative cell reference without putting any dollar signs. Then we have to insert the number of periods. Since this is in years, we have to convert it to months by multiplying it by 12. Then here we have to put the present value, which is the current value of the loan. If we want to take the figure in positive, we have to put a minus sign in front of the present value of the loan. Then we have to fix it as well. So then we can skip the future value. Then we have to put the time. Time means whether we are going to pay at the beginning or at the end. Now you are familiar with it. So at the end, we have to put 0. At the beginning, we have to put 1. So close the bracket. Now you can see the capital deduction or the principal amount. Then we have to find the ending loan balance. Ending loan balance means from the beginning loan balance, we have to just deduct the capital portion only. We are not going to deduct the installment because in the installment, we have both interest and capital portions together. In a loan, to calculate the ending balance, what we are going to do, we have to just deduct the capital portion. So you can get the ending loan balance. Now this ending loan balance will be the beginning loan balance of the second period. So you have to refer the F7 cell for the period 2. Then we can see that there are 5 years they have referred. Now, this loan amortization table should be prepared for 5 years, which including 60 months. So what we are going to do, first we have to select these 2 months, then we have to use the auto filtering options, and we have to drag it up to 60 period. On the 60th period, we can stop it. Then I'm going to put the auto filtering option to the rest of the table. First, I'm going to highlight the installment, interest payment, capital deduction, and ending balance of the first period, and I'm going to drag it up to the second period. By using the auto filtering option. Then I'm going to highlight the whole table, and then I'm going to drag it up to the end of the period. So you can see at the end of the period, our loan balance will be 0. Which means our amortization table is correct. In the exam, there may be 5 to 10 marks for loan amortization table. If there is a graph, then you will have another additional 4 to 6 marks for the graph as well. So now let's see how we can adjoin the interest and capital deduction together in one chart. First, we are going to put the period. Then we have to press control. Then we have to put the interest. At the same time, capital deduction. Then go to insert in the main tabs. Then go to charts and select a line chart. So in this chart, so here I'm going to remove the period. So you can see now I have just the interest payment and capital deduction. So you can see in the beginning period, interest is 0 and it is gradually increasing and it is gradually decreasing. Why? Because here in this one, we have paid at the beginning of the period. Now you can see the principal amount. Earlier it was really high, then it has been gradually decreased into the first period, then it has been gradually increased. So now I will add another one, which is the installment. First I have to move this chart, otherwise they won't let me to insert it. Now I'm going to add the installment as well. It's just like a triangle here. Because you can see that even the time period differs. In the amortization table, we are paying an equal amount in each time as installment. That's why we have a straight line over the period. So if you want, you can change this graph into different types as well. Right? So you can change the layouts. You can see what are the options available in the layout options. You can change the colors. So I'm going to keep a balance option, then it's easy for you. Likewise, you can change or amend the chart. So please go through these two questions carefully and try to create a chart as well from this loan amortization table. Thank you.